up, BC? What's happening? Get a little weird on a Thursday night. No, this isn't Thursday, this is Wednesday night. Trying to jump ahead in time here. Oh, this is your friendly neighborhood Cosmic Man here at Cosmic Vinyl. Ooh, I gotta scoot up a little bit. Here, I gotta show you guys this. What we're listening to. I'll just take a little break in the action here for a second. Prince and the Revolution picture disc that I bought yesterday. I think I got it at Walmart. It wasn't too expensive. It was like 20 bucks. Nah, it wasn't even that. I think it was on sale for like 18 or something like that. But I was like, you know what? I want that. And I don't have Purple Rain on vinyl, so. And I've never owned a picture disc before, so I'd give it a whirl. Anyway, yeah, I better be careful. Copyright people will be all over that mofo. Anyway, I'm been kind of wanting to do this video. I've been getting a lot of records lately. And every time I get ready to show them, I either get too busy to do a video, or I end up getting wrapped into like a contest video. So anyway, I've accumulated quite a few records. I've been kind of on this 80's jag, 80's new wave, 80's I don't know what you call it, post-punk, or and some other 80's alternative stuff that I found a mother load of at a store that picked up a collection. So some of the stuff dates back a little ways to a video that Dots and Loops showed. Dan over at Dots and Loops showed, I think it was just a quick video that he did on power pop music, like mostly 70s and 80s. I think it was mostly 80s stuff. And he actually recommended this band. They're called 2020. They're an American, like, I guess, power pop band, not new wave or anything, because we're still looking at late 70s here. But can you guys see that? It's a band called 2020. They're an American band, active mostly from 77 to 83. This is their debut album. It's kind of, I don't know, can you guys get a better look there? Dan showed this, and I was like, as soon as I took a listen to it on YouTube, I had to have it, man. I mean, they're kind of like Cheap Trickish, think Knack maybe. I mean, they look pretty much like they sound, and it's pretty straightforward power pop. It's an awesome pickup. I mean, it's filled with pop goodness. I really like it. Songs, Yellow Pills is probably my favorite song on this. But it's just full of great songs. It's like Tonight We Fly, Leaving Your World Behind, Yellow Pills. It's just really, it's really poppy and fun, and it's just a fun album, and I dig it. Vocal harmonies here are what are the strong suit on this. So yeah, thank you, Dan at Dots and Loops, for the recommendation. You can pick this up. I mean, I picked it up I got it off eBay, so and I think I got it for under 10 bucks. So yeah, I mean, you can get a lot of this great music for under 20 bucks anyway. So um, let's see. This next one I was so stoked to get. I was waiting on the mail for it pretty anxiously. Another power pop band. Gosh, I do not like these plastic covers, but it is what it is. So this is the Vapors. It's English new wave power pop. This is a pretty cool album cover here. Nuclear Days is the name of the record. They were active mostly in the late 70s, 78 through like 81. There's the band there on the back. You probably know them mostly for their top 10 single, Turning Japanese. It came out in like 80. It was number 3 in England, number 36 in the US. Of course, that song was rumored to be about masturbation, which has been, the band's singer disputes that. He wrote the song, so his name is David Fenton. He denies this, but he thanks whoever started that rumor, because it probably sold him another extra, 100,000 copies of the record, so it made that song a huge hit. So, but that's just the tip of the iceberg on this. I mean, there's some great power pop, great vocals, some cool bass lines on this. There's an odd track on here called Letter from Hero, a hero being Hiro. And I'm not sure if it's about, I don't know if it's about nuclear war, or I can't figure it out, but it's got kind of some puzzling lyrics. I'll let you guys figure it out. Look this album up, listen to it on YouTube, but I totally recommend this. I mean, songs like 60-Second Interval and Turning Japanese, and make this worth it just to get that. So yeah, great record here. I love this. I love the song Turning Japanese when I was younger, and I love the album as a whole even better now. So I was wondering, how do these guys get their hair to do that with the hole right there in the middle? It's like a divot. I've seen some of the 80's hair bands able to do that, and one of the guys on Bay City Rollers has his hair like that too. Weird. This is another band that another power pop band from the late 70s, early 80s. This is Bram Tchaikovsky. Strange Man, Changed Man. Includes the hit, the hype sticker tells it all. Includes the hit Girl in My Dreams, Still in the Shrink. This is a Target record. Regularly $6.99, on sale for $4.44. What an odd price to sell something for. But there's Bram Tchaikovsky. I think Bram is actually the vocalist, the British vocalist. I don't know if that's his real name, but it's a power pop. The hit single is Girl in My Dreams. Came out in '79. The title track is awesome. I mean, The Strange Man is a great song. I'm going to pull this out here. I thought there was something kind of unique about the record. Maybe not. I might be full of it. I guess not. Just your standard Polydor label. But the singer's got kind of a unique voice. It's like a cross between the Byrds and Springsteen, with maybe an added pop punk style to it. I don't know if that's a proper description, but yeah, that's Bram right there in the middle. So pretty cool cover art there. So yeah, I think this was re-released on a CD later on, but otherwise this is the OG. I've seen this around. I guess since I got it, I've seen it even more than I thought I did. But Yeah, but I dig it. It's a cool record. And like I said, I've been kind of in this power pop, late 70s, early 80s power pop jag. So moving right along to my next record here. This is a group called The Suburbs, and this is their self-titled album. I think this is their only album, really. God, I hate these sleeves. You ever get these sleeves, get record in these sleeves? They just, I mean, they're easy to get it on, but they get all crunkly. I seen somebody, maybe it was Eric Weinbender, had one that came in a sleeve like this, and I agree, Eric, they suck. They get all cramped. You go to put it in the jacket, and it just crumples up. It's a pain in the ass, you're right. Anyway, this is American alternative punk rock, funk, new wave band from Minneapolis, Minnesota. They played like the major clubs and were pretty popular in Minneapolis. They played the Jay's Longhorn Bar in First Avenue, which that bar will always be associated with our purple hero here, Prince. So it was produced by Robert Brent, who's better known as Bobby Z, who was the drummer for Prince's Revolution band. So yeah, and that might not be a good thing necessarily that he produced this album, because apparently before this album came out, when they had a fairly signature sound that included kind of quirky vocals by the singer. What was his name? His singer's name was Beej Cheney. He had like some kind of quirky vocals and lyrics, and they just had a really unique sound, like almost like a B-52s kind of a thing going, and they just overproduced them. The record company changed their sound, turned them in basically into just another 80s cliche band, and basically after this album, kaput, gone, over. So yeah, it's too bad, because I guess they were described like kind of a gang of four, Roxy Music type combination. So that's too bad. But you know what? I like listening to this record. It might have 80s, all the typical 80s sensibility to it, but I think it's got some really lighthearted songs. It's poppy. I like the song Super Love. Every Night's a Friday Night. I love that song. Number 9 is kind of a cool song on this too. So yeah, I mean, I don't hate it, and I love the cover. But yeah, I seen it for, it was like $3. Decided to give it a whirl, and I don't, like I said, I don't hate it, and I kind of dig it actually. So yeah, The Suburbs. Out of all the records that I'm about to show, this is definitely my favorite find of all of them. Most of these records, including this one, are out of print, and I'm so happy to have this. They're not expensive though. I mean, you can score this. This is The Wall of Voodoo. If you don't know who The Wall of Voodoo is, check out the hype sticker there. I'll tell you, they had a hit called Mexican Radio back in the early 80s. They were, this album is called Call of the West. It's a combination, the sound is kind of a combination of like, new wave and maybe like new wave synth and like spaghetti western. I don't know. It's got like harmonica and like a twangy guitar that reminds me of like the Ennio Morricone soundtracks, and it might be because Stan Ridgway, the singer, worked at this place across the street from the New Wave bar. It was called Acme Soundtracks, and so they worked on doing movie soundtracks. So I can see where maybe they incorporated that a little bit into the music. So if you've ever heard Mexican Radio, you know it's kind of a quirky, kind of goofy song. It's really a song about how the guys, they'd be driving around in their car in LA, and we're just tired of the same old songs they heard on their LA rock radio. But so every once in a while they'd be able to tune in a Mexican radio station, and they'd just love it. And that's how they came up with a little bit of they just kind of goofing around. They came up with about a minute long jam and incorporated I'm on a Mexican radio. And the next thing, they made history. They're a one-hit wonder, I guess you could say. But like I said, that's a quirky song, but that does not tell the story of this record at all. This album is it's got a certain darkness to it. It's haunting. It's, I just can't explain it. There's an undercurrent to it that's almost kind of spooky. I can't really explain it. But all I know is that I really dig this, and really, this was the only album that came out with this lineup. When Stan Ridgway, the original singer, left the band, and then a couple of guys died. They're really, whatever Wall of Voodoo came out after this record, I cannot speak to their sound at all, but this is the sound that I dig. This whole record, side 1 with Tomorrow, Lost Weekend, on the other side, side 2, They Don't Want Me, and Call of the West. The songs are just like, it's just kind of a trippy trip into an underworld of some kind, and it's very unique, and I love this record. I have not been able to stop listening to this thing. It offers so much more than just Mexican radio. Yeah, these guys were a cool band. Kind of, like I said, it's almost like a feeling of dread. And Stan Ridgway's unique voice style and harmonica playing is what makes this record, combined with Mark Moreland's twangy guitar. Anybody who likes shoegaze type stuff or would be into this for sure. So yeah, Wall of Voodoo, Call the West. And you can still get this record fairly reasonable, even though it's out of print. There's still copies out there on the very cool independent label known as, I believe it's the IRS label. Yep. Oops, I just grabbed the record. Yes, I did. IRS label there. So, yeah, great album. I wouldn't lie to you, people. I wouldn't steer you down the wrong way. I love it. So yeah, I've been listening to this one a lot. I listen to it a lot. So I better move on, because I've been fawning over that record a little too long. Next record, another out of print 80s gem that every compilation, 80s compilation I ever bought when I went through the years, whether it be on cassette, CD, vinyl, whatever, always had to have this track on it. But this is the Reflex, Politics of Dancing. Another out-of-print record, but an amazing record that you can get for dirt cheap. It's got, they basically only held together for this one record, so it was a British album. It's a British band, and this is their debut record. They're another one-hit wonder with the Politics of Dancing. Love this guy's voice. It just kind of reminds me like early Oingo Boingo, who I believe they toured with. I could see this has a lot of danceable songs on it too. I wish I could have showed this for my contest video that I did for vinyl 8 vinyl low or vinyl 8 low. God, I can't remember, but Emma's channel. But yeah, I wish I could have showed this record for that, but I didn't. I wanted to save this for for its own video. But yeah, lots of danceable songs on this. I could see like some hip hop artists like sampling the hell out of this. So it's got a totally 80s vibe to it, obviously, and with the keyboards, and it's got electronic drums and percussion and programming. I mean, I love it. So yeah, Reflex, the politics of dancing, the politics of ooh, feeling good. Dan, you know what I'm talking about, right, Dan? He knows what I'm talking about. Check the. I do like these sleeves. These they're like a protective sleeve, and that they don't crumple up, and they're soft inside. I do dig that sleeve. I got the capital rainbow label, capital. But yeah, I do like these plastic sleeves, Eric. You might check those out if you're looking for a good inner sleeve. Two more records here. I don't want to make this too long. And these are, or this one is anyway, a very common record on the MCA label. This one is The Fix. I showed a Fix's debut record not too long ago on a video. But yeah, I really, really, really like The Fix. From their first album to this is their second album, Reach the Beach. But I love Cy Kernan's voice. I love the bass lines in this album are just killer. I mean, I wouldn't lie to you. It's just a really great bass player. A lot of these 80s bands, like new wave and whatever band you want to call them, alternative or whatever, the bass players were just amazing and just really underappreciated, I think. Just didn't get enough credit. Like I said, the bass on this is just killer. The guy on this that they don't even list the bass guy on this. He was he left the band before its release, but he played on this record. I'm trying to think, see if I can find his name. It was Alfie Agis, I guess, Agis. But the guy that took his place and played on the rest of the album and the rest of the records was just as good a bass player as this guy. So yeah, The Fix, Reach the Beach. This is a British rock band, another British rock band. God, they had some great 80s groups from England. The MTV era stuff, so great. I remember just MTV was just looking for anything new that they could use, because and they took anybody's videos and they made it. They exposed us to music we would have never got exposed to, stuff like this. But this has the hits Saved by Zero, One Thing Leads to Another, Sign of Fire, title track Reach the Beach. It's good stuff. This artwork is pretty great too. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he's like an escaped from somewhere and he swam to shore or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, this band basically is the core original group is still together and still tours the world regularly. I just find that fascinating, and pretty unheard of these days, that a band can stick together that long with their peak lineup and still touring strong. Love that in a band. Love the loyalty and the camaraderie of a band to be able to do that. This is my last record I'm going to show. Another thing I picked up out of a nice 80s collection I stumbled across. Romeo Void. They came out of an art school in Los Angeles. The singer Deborah Ayal met Peter Woods and Frank Zinkovich, and they put together the band Romeo Void. Romeo Void, which means lack of romance, I guess, literally. They got the name from a headline that they read in a local LA magazine that said why can't single, or what was it? Why single women can't get laid in San Francisco. It's kind of an odd thing to name, and then they decided to name their band Romeo Void. Kind of a weird deal, but anyway, second album, major label, debut, a little more commercially friendly. The hit off of this is a song that they initially had on their earlier EP. It's called Never Say Never. It goes, might like you better if we slept together. Might like you better if we slept together. Never, never say never. It's kind of punky. It's got almost a ska sound to it. I only say that. I'm not calling them a ska band. They don't have a full horns. But they do have a saxophone sound that makes this very unique sounding band. And her vocals and lyrics are off the wall and really good. So, yeah, Romeo Void. You know how I remember Romeo Void is in the early 2000s, there was a show on VH1 called Bands Reunited. They were one of the bands that this guy made an effort to go out and get back together for kind of a one-off show, which they did. That was a great show. I don't know if you guys remember that. A guy, I can't remember the cat's name that ran the show, but he would make it his mission to go out and find the members of these 80s bands and then try and get them all to agree by signing the album, like a contract, to agree to come in and practice a couple days and then do a one-off show. They did it with like The Alarm. They did it with Romeo Void. I can't think of some of the other ones. I think they did it with oh shit, I can't think of it. It's gonna come to me later. Oh, it's another 80s band that I really liked. But anyway, it'll come to me another time. Anyway, that was what a great idea for a show. A lot of times they couldn't get them together. It's too bad. It's too bad the bands can't be more like the Fix, man, and just hang in there. I know you have musical differences, but just, compromise. And I've only been in like a band that I'm in right now for a short time. I can see how you kind of get on each other's nerves, but gee, work it out, Speaking of which, my band Section 7, we got a big show coming up. Our first headlining gig on Friday night. We're playing, there's this community just outside of the town that I live in called Lehigh, and they have their annual River Days celebration. Not too long ago, they were actually underwater with flooding, but so we're going to come in there and try and rock their socks off, give them something good to celebrate, and we're a first headlining gig, so yeah, we're stoked about it. Trying to make sure I got all the songs tightened up, and yeah, if you guys want to cruise down for Lehigh River Days, just south of Fort Dodge, Iowa, Section 7, yeah, baby! Anyway, I'm going to cut this off. Hope you enjoyed this, some 80s stuff. That's only half of the 80s stuff I picked up. I've got some more obscure stuff. I got like Nina Hagen and Throbbing Gristle and just a lot of weird stuff from the 80s coming up. So I'll cut this off right now, but y'all have a great night. We'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great day tomorrow, and just love each other, be good to each other, and we'll see you next time. This is Cosmic Vinyl out. Peace be with you. 80s, baby. 80s music rules. Gotta love the 80s. Might like you better if we slept together. Might like you better never say never.